Right, we're in second week of September. Temperatures are definitely cooled. Not quite feeling autumnal yet, but it's definitely heading that way. And invariably this time of year you start thinking towards the winter protection and whatnot. And it made me think about this because I had to cut a couple of big leaves off the gunnery where they just dried out, totally gone brown, and already this gap at the fence here, you know, big open space where it was covered with big leaves, and it's just sort of made me think about, you know, things dying down and not looking quite so lush. So yeah, thinking about winter protection and sort of just looking around the garden really and looking at what plants may or may not need protecting. I mean, for me, I've been doing this, 3 or 4 years now, probably 5 years to be fair, with the sort of true tropicals and stuff, and it's fairly straightforward. I tend to have a lot of stuff like houseplants or true tropicals, if you like, just in pots sitting in the border, so that's a real easy situation for me to just bring them in the house and keep them as houseplants over winter. We do have the odd plant in general, like things that are in the ground stay in the ground, but there's the odd banana, and obviously this one is my fairly recent purchase, Heniba, which is obviously not hardy whatsoever, and also very small. So this one is a little bit of a dilemma for me because they're not a cheap plant. So I'm still weighing up whether to pot that up and keep it indoors or risk it in my summer house where I do keep a lot of my plants over the winter period. And it's not heated as such, it's just there's a background heater which kicks in about 4 degrees just to keep it frost free. So that is one of the food dilemmas I've got this year, is do I risk an expensive plant like that, and well, not just the expense, but the situation of just buying one. They're not easy to get hold of where I am, at least anyway. So that's something I'll be thinking about. But like I say, in general, for me, it's a straightforward affair. There's not many things that I have to dig out. I have got a couple of other insects which I do dig out, which are in the ground. I'll give you this example, and I can't even tell you the name of it because I grew it from seed ages ago, and we've got this sort of lime yellow onset, which is quite a nice little banana. It has been bigger. I chopped it down a bit too much last year to dry store, so this year I'm going to dig up, put in a pot, and just keep frost free. But yeah, so I mean, I think it's good to have a plan on certain plants if you're new to the hobby, or even if you've done it for years and years. Every plant, you buy new plants each year, and everything's a little bit of a, it takes a bit of thought to get the best out of your plant, and also whether you want to just literally just give it bare minimum life support and just keep it alive over winter, or whether you want to keep it in a state of growth. And I'll refer to the Livingstone chinensis here. This is in a pot, and to be fair, that's put out a decent amount of growth this year, so I'm not worried about keeping that growing over winter, so that will just be kept free in the summer house, and that'll just tick over. I've done the same thing last year. Takes no damage, just sort of sits there dormant, keep it on the dry side, absolutely fine. Pretty much the same situation with this split leaf tree philodendron. It's pumped out some good growth this year. I mean, this is probably about the size it was last year when I overwintered it, and then it got horribly burnt in the spring. We had a very sort of warm and sunny, unusually for the UK, so that we lost a lot of the big leaves, and so we sort of started from scratch again on that, but that's now got to a reasonable size again. So I'll be, and that's another sort of dilemma: do I take it indoors or do I just let it tick over dormant? So I mean, again, have a walk around your garden, think what may need protecting. Another plant which is not really that much information about online is the cordyline superstar. So I'd treat this exactly the same as a red star. So if you're able to grow a red star without any damage, I'd imagine, or what I've found over the last winter or two, is that you can treat it the same, as it seems pretty much the same hardiness. This didn't really take any damage over winter. I do have a lot of potted palms in the greenhouse because they're very small. I want to give them sort of a good heat during the summer, which I'm going to be bringing indoors. I'm going to be making a little grow tent, so that's going to be a little project over the next week or two when I've got a bit of spare time, just to get that going. And yeah, so I'll be setting up some grow lights, a small little oil filled radiator just to keep it around about 25 degrees. I've got 3 decent grow lights, and yeah, I'll have a little setup with some shelves for the smaller plants and the big potted palms. Will obviously be at floor level, so we'll be making something. So I'll probably do a video on that once it's sort of semi-assembled, and we'll have a look at that. So that is a situation to, if you want to keep stuff growing in full growth over winter, you're going to need to supplement heat and light, because especially in the UK, cold, very dark winter, you're lucky if you get sort of 5 hours of daylight. So yeah, I think over the next month, I know no one likes to think about winter, but in a way I quite enjoy. You know, you have to embrace the seasons. Spring's always everyone's favourite season. Everything comes back to life, and in the summer everything grows. Autumn, everyone seems to be a bit down, but for me it's an opportunity to take stock, see what worked, what didn't work, and improve things for next year. And I've been sort of panning around as I'm talking, this to show that not everything's done brilliantly this year, even with the heat. We've not had hardly any rain, so things have struggled. Things aren't as lush as they could be, even though you'd think with the temperature we've had that should be doing rather well, but no, things have struggled. So yeah, basically just a video to say keep tuned, because I know a lot of you will be starting to think about winter protection on certain plants, or whether to move them into unheated greenhouse, indoors, whatever. So I'll do some specific plant videos maybe, and just an overall, you know, maybe sort of bananas you want to protect. I mean, that's going to be mainly the elm sets, but I mean, some people do like to lift some other types of bananas as well. No, but like I say, we'll look into that. And I don't know if any long-term viewers of the channel remember the last couple of years. I mean, sometimes for me, I have been this whole centre bed. I know this looks like a load of bedding plants at the minute, but there's a lot of small palms which potentially still could get quite damaged over winter, even though they've been out for 4 years. They haven't been damaged yet, because I always build a sort of framework and basically sort of a greenhouse over it. But little things like that, we'll go over bits and pieces at a time, and we'll see the plans for this year. And yeah, so we'll see as we go what needs to be done. We'll leave it at that for now. Bit of a overcast day, still about 20 degrees, so it's a little bit muggy, but a little bit fresher than it had been. It looks like it could rain, but which would be nice, because this week I'm actually working a late shift, so I've got the mornings in the garden, but I do like to sort of water in the evenings, so I'm gonna have to swap things about a bit, so a bit of rain would help me out. Anyway, again, rambling on. Let's leave it at that and stay tuned for some winter protection videos, plus sort of end of summer conclusions, I guess. Right, thanks for watching, we'll catch you on the next one.